This week's DRM Not Included on F5 Live Refreshing Technology is proudly powered by Amazon Prime. We all know that you get free shipping on millions of products with Amazon Prime, but you get a whole lot more. Like free music with Amazon Prime Music, free TV, movies, and documentaries with Amazon Prime Video, free games, and a free Twitch subscription to support the content creator of your choice with Amazon Prime Gaming, plus a whole lot more. We've got links to all of these features and some of our favorites, plus a 30-day free trial, all by going to f5live.tv/prime. Over the years, we've talked a lot about ad blockers, the problems that they create, both for content creators and publishers. And this week, YouTube has started to really enforce their terms of service. The YouTube terms of service have long stated that ad blockers are not allowed, that it's a violation of the usage of the website. And they have tried, basically, since Google purchased the platform, they've tried to figure out ways here and there to deal with them. And they have gotten very heavy-handed this week with notifications coming up on the screen that says, you are not allowed to use this site. They will not show you any content anymore unless you turn off the ad blocker or purchase YouTube Premium. It's understandable. I understand how we get here. We've talked about this again many times. The publishers, content creators, the way free content exists is we don't ask you for money. We ask you for a small amount of your attention before, during, after, or around the content. Tom's Hardware, PLUGHITZ Live, we produce a lot of content, and that content is made available to you without having to pay a subscription. Now, we offer subscriptions, maybe, for bonus content and things like that, but, we produce a lot of content. This show, we make this available for everybody. This takes a lot of time to produce, and we do that because of advertising. We ask for a little bit of attention at the top. You heard about Amazon Prime. And with ad blockers, that revenue goes away, which makes it impossible, or certainly more difficult, to produce any of this content. And that's essentially the position that Google/YouTube has found itself in here. And they have decided, after years of trying to fight this, to go heavy-handed, and I get it. And they are diligently working to find and work their way around workarounds. Because there was a workaround if you set your user agent string in your browser to Windows Phone, all of a sudden you could still use an ad blocker. But I guess once the tech sites wrote about it, Google fixed it. But I understand both sides, right? Ad blockers have their purposes. Some ads can be malicious. I mean, we remember famously Yahoo serving malicious ads. Even G4 got hit by it because Yahoo was serving ads for G4 at the time. They can slow down a site if they're not implemented correctly. They can change the experience. We've had it. Google started changing the way ads showed up on our website, and the ads were coming up above the menu, which was a terrible experience. I get it. But it's how we all pay the bills. So it's a difficult balancing act between the advertisers and the publishers not totally screwing up the experience for the listener, viewer, reader, whatever, and being able to pay the bills. I know this is very passionate for you.
Yes. So I support what YouTube is doing 100%.
Yep.
And I will add that I think everybody should do what YouTube is doing. I think other sites that, other sites, like I'm just speaking on behalf of myself and not my employer who makes these decisions. So I want to make that really clear. I think publishers should do it too, and they could, they could. The technology is absolutely out there to block people from visiting sites if they have ad blocker on. The reason why most sites don't do it is because they're in a little bit of a catch-22. They want to say that they have the traffic. They want to have the audience numbers. So they don't want people to walk away because they want their audience number. They want to see that number. And they're, depending on what is being blocked, there may still be ways of monetizing that person, although not through ads. So it might be, for example, that your site has a list of recommended products to buy, right, at your page, and then the person clicks on one and you get a commission. Well, even though that person blocked all the ads, they didn't block the commerce links, and they clicked on one and you made money off of them that way. So you can't, so unfortunately you can't win, right? If you block people, then you're losing your overall audience, which you like to have, and then you're also, for just because, and that could affect things like your ComScore rank and other things that you use to sell ads, right? And then you're also losing, but on the other hand, you're also losing the possibility of getting those people to buy something that they might buy via your site, and you might make money off of them that way. So so you can't really win, except Google in this case really doesn't have any reason not to. They're Google, they're big enough that they can take a little bit of a hit. They're kind of a monopoly in this space. So they don't have a ton of competition that people are really like, yeah, so you're going to block me, I'm going to go to this other site, that I'm going to go to Vimeo now, right?
Or Rumble.
I don't.
The only two real competitors in the space, well, I guess three: Facebook Watch, Vimeo, and Rumble. And together, they don't pose a challenge to YouTube.
Right. So they're big enough to get away with this. For one, they're big enough to get away with it, and sure, they should absolutely do it. I agree with them. Now, I would love to see, but again, this is one of those things where you'd have to have some cooperation between publishers, like some of the issues that we're seeing with AI, where hey, if the Associated Press is going to go make a deal with OpenAI, well, that's good for them, but then what does it do for everybody else? Well, if one publisher decides, hey, I'm just going to block people who are on ad blockers, they have to kind of weigh that against, well, someone may go elsewhere. Now, what we are seeing partially as a result of ad blockers is we're seeing a lot more paywalls on the internet. And those folks who think that they're being smart by using ad blockers, what they're doing is they're making the problem inherently worse, right? It's like, but of course they're not making it worse for themselves in the immediate, right? It's like people who go to the store and they shoplift, right?
Right.
The fact that the price of goods goes up because people are shoplifting is no, bother to them, right? But they might say, if you catch them shoplifting, well, this was so expensive, that's why I shoplifted or whatever. So,
but interestingly,
that's what's going on with ads.
If we follow that analogy, let's look at San Francisco, where shoplifting has become such a problem that retailers are pulling out of the city entirely. right? Like 7 CVSs have closed, 7 or 8 Walgreens have closed, grocery stores have closed, and it's now
Yeah,
there are other ones as well, but this can push publishers and content creators out of the market as well
yeah,
with
yeah,
ad blockers.
absolutely.
That was where I was headed with
Yeah,
that.
absolutely, right. It can push. So it also makes the ads that are there more aggressive, right? Because
Right.
which of course makes more people want to use ad blockers, right? But hey, if
It's
I
a death
can't, if
spiral.
only like, because if you look at a lot of sites, a significant amount of their traffic, it's not like a handful. It can be a significant amount of your traffic. It could be half or more than half of your traffic is people using ad blockers.
Yeah.
So now you've got the other 30% who are not using ad blockers, and by all and by all means, you could say to them, "Wow, I'm really sorry. Let me give you very few ads." But unfortunately, to continue to make money, you might have to bombard them with more ads.
Right.
So if people are seeing, and I don't know exactly what the numbers are for different sites. I don't know what they are for my site or whatever, but I know that they are significant percentages for a lot of sites. I know it's not like 5% or 10%. I know it's up there in the tens of percents
In
for most websites.
in 2019,
Yeah.
the statistic was 25% of web browsers.
Right. And that's going to obviously vary on a per topic basis, right? So if you
Right.
have a site with a very high tech audience that knows how to use ad blockers, you're probably going to see a lot more than
Yeah.
25%. But if you have a site that's very, low tech, people not really know what, not very tech savvy or whatever, then maybe it'll be less than 25%.
Right.
But anyway, that's a lot of shrinkage. That's a lot of shrink in the, as they say in the retail term, when you lose inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a lot. And so you're seeing more and more sites kind of combat this by going by putting things behind paywalls. At
Mm-hmm.
which point, a lot of times the advertising's not that it's not that important anymore, because they're giving you an ad-free or light ad experience when you pay.
Right.
So I think that it might behoove more sites to actually take this approach and say, hey, you can't view this content if you have an ad blocker on, and be willing to take the hit. But they'll take a hit, right? They'll take a hit of traffic, and there will be angry people, because there's always
Right.
people who are like, how dare you? I was visiting your site, and you should be happy that I visited your site or watched your video or read your content, even though I didn't allow you to make any money to compensate you for your work,
Right.
right? Because
It's
there are a lot of people who are
it's literally the same argument as AI.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's argument in favor of, like, yeah, you should be happy that I stole your stuff. It's not a it's not a pleasant argument.
Mm-hmm.
We could have very well done another talk about AI, and this week the News Media Alliance issued a really excellent white paper that I recommend
Yeah.
everybody read, which cites one of my articles, although it cites many things. And their point is that not only are facts being taken from news articles, but the expression, the phrases, the actual wording itself is being taken, and therefore is no way that this is fair use,
Right.
and they should be compensated. So, but anyway, yes, I think it's great what Google is doing. They are in a uniquely strong position to do it, though.
Right.
And I'd like to see them do it more. I'd like to see them do it with the ads that are on their search pages. I'd like to see it with I'd like to see them do it with AdSense or something. Maybe if you carry AdSense ads, then it'll pop up a blocker, and then a lot of websites will have to
Yeah.
enforce this because they want to keep running AdSense. And like, yeah, I think, people are going to be unhappy, but listen, sometimes you have to do stuff when people are kind of are stealing your work, and unfortunately there'll be some very nice people who will say, but I don't like seeing ads, and why should I have to see them, and we'll be mad. But it's the same thing with like the password sharing on Netflix, right? Like, you weren't supposed to be sharing your password with people, and they cracked down on it. Like, and some people were annoyed, but most people, I think, probably realized that they were getting away with something,
right?
And they can't get away with it anymore.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm with you. Obviously, we have a direct dog in this fight, and it's probably also why we've both been so passionate on the AI topic. We have it impacts us directly, and I like seeing it. I like what they're doing. I know it's annoying some people, and oh well. I guess is my takeaway there. It's their platform. They're allowed to enforce their rules. They have rules. They've always had rules, and now they're enforcing them. So, good on them. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of F5 Live, Refreshing Technology. If you did, please subscribe to the channel down below, and of course hit the notification bell, because we know that subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. If you've got topics that you'd like us to talk about in the future, please comment them down below. And if you'd like to not follow us on YouTube, there's lots of ways that you can follow along with our content by going to PLUGHITZlive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all of the ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.